Hey everyone, this is another review of The Matrix Revolutions, the final installment of the Matrix film franchise. Of course I don't have the Animatrix or the game in Enter the Matrix, but the films are what I'm doing. So at least I'll reach through game reviews when I get to them. And it's a double disc edition set, like Matrix Reloaded is. The film title, it's a quad image and it's all shaded in the green in same shade. While the quads are, this one is with Neo, the other is Captain Funny in his APU. No, all the Smith breeds watching the battle and Morpheus and Trinity. Rated 15, the disc logo, side, the name, the age rating, and all that, the number. And the back has Neo standing at the Machine City and talking to the Machine Leader, and from top to low is the Smith in flames, which is actually Neo's eyesight when he's looking at Bane in his real inside persona, and Smith's inside it as he can see through it. Neo running off to chase up against Smith. Morpheus and Trinity with Seraph at the Hell Club, and the machine bombs about to blow up the logos when they were on their way to the Machine City. The plot info. Of course, it's hard to read this because it's been so old since it's been long ago since we had this. But the discs represent what they carry. The first disc for film feature, and disc 2 for bonus features. The copyright info, the credits which you could barely read, and rated 15 copyright info. And inside, again, that flappy thing we had at Matrix Reloaded. This one we only have one piece of thing, a scene section, a disc section card, where it has Neo running off on one side, the others, with the Smiths being deleted in the process. Inside the center fold is tilted this way for all the scenes of the film. The top part represents the scene index of the first disc. The other here is for bonus features. As in, it's like a total of. They say it's like 5 or 6 bonus features, but according to what I've seen, I could have sworn it's over that amount. And the bonus feature disc has Seraph, Morpheus, and Trinity at the Hell Club, and of course it's Reigning Matrix Code, and Neo fighting against Agent Smith in the crater, where it's a mix of actual water rain and Matrix Code rain. The Matrix Revolutions, the copyright info, and all that. There are some things I did not find that I could have found strange, is that Neo in the end of the second film, Neo is said to be knocked out after he took down a bunch of Sentinels, and then he was then laying on some kind of bed at the Hammer ship, and when he said he was jacked in, when he got jacked in, and because of the train man, and when he wakes, of course he's inside the train. He as the Matrix mind, and he as the residual self-image is in the train station, and after being rescued, he got back into the recliner where most of the freed human beings enter the Matrix as the residual self-image. And when the Oracle, and this time I didn't. And when I saw the Oracle, I did not notice she changed a lot. Of course, but they had to explain a story of how she changed. Of course, real life, the original actress of the Oracle died, so they had Mary Alice to replace Gloria Foster instead. And Seraph has been known to help only once in this film, because in Reloaded, he's only seen to show Neo the guy into the Oracle. This one, he's just to help Morpheus and Trinity rescue Neo by trying to stop the Mirror Vision and the Keymake and the Train Man. The Train Man too is a cameo and doesn't speak much. And Persephone only spoke once in this film. And the real Smith, it wasn't actually. And the one thing I found awkward is that the real Smith is not actually the one fighting Neo in the ending battle. The one he created from the Oracle is the one who fought Neo. Is the one who actually fought Neo instead. And the only thing that seemed a bit just as there's not even a chance. Something that didn't feel like there was a chance to remain that way long. Is that when Smith infested Neo, it was like he was like that way for like 5 or 10 seconds, and after that, a sparkle hit him, which then just deleted him in the process, deleting all the Smith replicas. The other thing is that there were two ships that survived, and two ships that survived, and one thing I'm not so sure is if Niobe did understand her ship was destroyed was destroyed as well when the Logos crashed into somewhere in the Machine City where Trinity died. And one thing that troubled me is that how Trinity died. Those gigantic tentacles that got shoved through her arms and her torso made it look like makes it look like being back in those parts again. Because if you watch the first one, you see those tubes around their bodies. It's like an inspiration of that. Yeah. I was afraid Trinity would have died again. I was afraid because of the theory of Trinity would have died again, and it did. Of course, Neo won't be actually dead at all. Neo is not actually dead. His mind actually got wiped out and then got deleted in the process. And just before the ending battle, I thought the Sentinels were just laughing around, but actually they were forced to stop. They were forced to stop because the Direct Machina was commanding them to stop. Speaking of that, I thought Neo was supposed to destroy the Direct Machina so that way it would cause the Sentinels never to listen to any more authorities. But no, he only wanted peace between mankind and machines. He wanted to stop. When he said peace, I thought he meant like peace, man. But no, he actually means peace, as in peace between no hatred or war between mankind and machines. And Sati, I would have originally thought would actually scream when being replicated at it, but actually it did actually after all the Smith breeds walked up close to them, and they already did their purpose, and then walked their way to the Oracle. And Smith hits his right hand and at their chests. But the Oracle, he just hits his two fingers at her arm, which I don't get why he did that. Which I don't get how even in that way it worked. And the Oracle version, and the Smith from the Oracle Smith, when he infested Neo, his whole fist got shoved right into Neo's torso when he copied him. And the council meeting in the first scene of it, Locke makes it sound like he is working hard the best he can but the majority of soldiers he had hired to take down the Sentinels, else part of them died and the other part didn't. And it leads me to think that because Mifune, Locke thinks he can handle these things, but when they said the EMP destroyed the computer systems in the armored personnel units and forced them to live inside and seal the entry to the temple and the city, meaning they abandoned the dock. When the Sentinels is recharged the tunneling devices, he just grew to realize he's not worth a thing of plans. Which is what led him to only be stuck on Morpheus' side, to do these things. And Roland, originally when I first watched it, I thought he was just a cruel man. But no, he was just angry because he didn't want any of their ships being dragged away to where the Sentinels could destroy it. But Niobe understood, and the reason Niobe volunteered, of course, we found out that the Oracle told her that she would be certain help for Neo if it would help Zion be rescued. And when Mifune died, before watching this, I thought Locke would have been the one who died, but actually Locke's not the one riding those APUs. It's actually Captain Mifune, which I realized was still stuck with the Locke guy. And Bane attacking the Logos was like an inspiration of Cypher in the first film, which is why they re-brought that idea back. Of course, different from Cypher, that he was infested to hoping to return the Matrix. This one is actually Smith's persona, and this one is Bane. Smith's persona is inside him, trying to destroy Neo. And the sunrise at the end, of the film makes everyone think that Neo is coming back. Like, if you guys agree that he is, just put it below, because I'm thinking about maybe he does come back. But one thing that troubles me is if he does, will he have the persona he had when helping the others save the world? Will he have that? Will they give him back to that persona, or refresh him with a new persona to act like a rude person, or act like some kind of punk or something? Because his previous anomalies kind of behave like that in Reloaded, and makes me realize what if the ones might be this? What if the one species technically have to be that kind of persona? And one thing that troubled me about Trinity is that it was during the scene when Neo said he has to go to the Machine City, and it would help save Zion. Is that at first Trinity looks like she's part of the plan with the Ham and the Logos about how to reach through without the Sentinels knowing and hit through the dark. I can hit the EMP. And when Neo says he's leaving to the Machine City to make sure that's how he can settle the score to stop the machines, Trinity just wants to come with him. That's because she's afraid Neo might not. Just in case she would be afraid that Neo might say his goodbyes to everyone. And only favorite parts of this film, but technically the action sequences, is we got Neo in two clothings, again, and another favorite part is when the Oracles then begins informing Neo about everything that has a beginning in thought. When she talks about how things begin, things that just begun now has to come to end, and then he now realizes the plan and decides to have himself being the only one not to live in Zion anymore. And now he has to condemn it, and he's now into a battle and he then fights Smith. Of course, the depressing part of him was that he did lose Trinity when I did not see a powerful being like him sob about anything, but this actually happened, and the fact he did that is now happened when he tried to blow up the bombs in the Machine City's defenses. And of course, the Sentinel. I don't get how the Sentinel shoved itself through him, which somewhat downed him. You know when the Sentinel's seen on Neo's side, and then it hits through the ship, and Neo finalizes doing this anymore, and he begins to fall down before Trinity grabs to him. That kind of thing. And the final battle where they first fought where Neo and Smith first fought on the streets. The teaser states they run and then they punch each other and they got pushed off. Of course, watching the actual film, we found out that once they ran, they could just do like a fighting competition, and then a slow motion effect where they punched each other and they got pushed off. Of course, Neo landed safely. Smith broke a pile of rocks and mortar around the road, and then began flying in the air. Then it started building the air again, where this time where they're not in their glasses, and then the crater I thought was actually done, but actually it's from a building that they crushed into. They hit a building and then it crumbled down and a crater was formed. And the only favorite part is that after he punched Smith through the rocks, just before Smith reached out saying "My world," that's pretty much it then. And the only favorite part is that the Sentinels were forced into a stop, and never harming people anymore. And unlike how Tank didn't survive in the end of the first film, Link did survive in the end of the third film because he remained in the temple and then heard the news of the war was done, and they all cheered in victory. And of course, one thing that troubles me is that one thing that did trouble me about Neo being dragged away after he succeeded saving the world is that will his old persona return? We'll find out. The only way to find out is that they do something. If we do find the answers ourselves. There's a bonus feature on this that they mentioned called the Matrix Online game, which is online. I don't know if it exists anymore since it's been like 9 years since this film came out. 9 or 8 years technically, because this is actually released. This is released in cinemas in November 2003. Released on direct-to-video in April 2004. Which then, the only time we see this as AOL Time Warner was actually watching in cinemas, buying this disc. This is actually just now it's now Time Warner. Now the transition went a Time Warner Entertainment Company, then AOL Time Warner, now it's just Time Warner. And the intro introduced during the end of the 1990s, it still remains, even in the present Warner Brothers films, which we'll go over about later. This one gets 4.5 out of 10. Critics, you guys can rate what you think about the film. The film's great. The film's good and great action packed. And now signing off.